It's time to get on, man. It's one of them moments.
Yeah. Yep.
That's a nice little feedback too.
Yeah, you hear that motherfucker? Can you hear me?
I think somebody got YouTube on. That's what's wrong.
Yes, that's probably what it is.
Crook, do you got YouTube on?
No, let me make sure. I just turned my TV off. Is it better?
Better.
Does it sound better?
Better.
Let me say something.
Hey, do we got a reverb? Do we got a reverb? Can y'all hear like a reverb out there when we speaking?
I hear
Gotta
it.
make sure this thing sound right. I gotta make sure my mic sound right. Anybody in the comments? Do we got a reverb? What's happening?
Hey, G, that might be me. Let me go out. I'm gonna try something real quick.
Okay. So it is a reverb. Kick still off. What about now? Is it a reverb still? Still a reverb? What the hell is going on? Hey, Lit, is it a reverb happening? Can you hear reverb about these sounds? Still, you can hear still?
It's gone.
Now it's done, huh? Maybe it was Cam set up.
Nope, it's back.
What is going on?
Definitely back.
Okay, hold up. We just give us a second to get going. People filling up in here, so it's gonna be epic.
When I hear music.
Oh, still some beer left.
What about now?
So far, so good.
What's the deal? I'm with you. I think it's something wrong with the Wi-Fi or something. So it's dragging.
Yeah.
We just waiting on Steel to pop back up, and we're gonna get this thing cracking. Don't move,
Cool.
Crook. Hold up. Soon as Steel pop back up, we up. Big bro, what's happening? Don't worry. Hold up. Steel finna come back, and then it's gonna adjust the whole screen. So just hold up. Soon as Steel pop back up, we up. Check. Yeah, we finna get to it. We have to do an emergency broadcast, you feel me, for today, because it's some unprecedented things that's happening in hip-hop. Crooked, Cam, they've been in hip-hop before I even thought about getting in this thing we call it the record business. You feel me? They've they've been in this thing before I even thought about being a rapper, anything. And I'm sure this is a first for them. So we're gonna really get into this conversation really quick. Soon as Steel pops back on here so we can adjust this screen. But it's definitely one of those days. Pete, did you read up on it?
I read up on it a bit, and I don't know that much in this particular area of civil law, but I know this much. When a rap beef bleeds into the courts, I'll put my money on the half Jewish guy every single day and twice on the Shabbos.
I have zero faith it's gonna work out for him. I don't think he's Jewish enough.
He's caught in a rock at a hard place.
I think he played against the real. This ain't the South Bay Lakers. He played against the Los Angeles Lakers. It's different. Yeah. It's a different game up here. It's a different game up here. Where
this is going to be the real Encino Lakers.
Steel is slowing the stream down. Come on, Steel. Where you at? There you go.
I was looking.
You look great. You've never looked so good. What are you using?
Did you put it on your phone instead?
Man, hell yeah, I want to put it on my phone. We ain't had time to be playing around.
We got that bad audio happening.
Yeah.
Man, you know what? I don't know what it is, bro, but they ain't never done that before.
Anyway, no ceilings live, the lunch hour. No, this is the podcast. We just doing it live. Yeah. This is an unprecedented time in hip hop, in rap music. Some of this stuff never in life happened. I cannot believe this is happening. This is an important time. So I brought some really special people. I brought Crooked Eye and I brought my big brother Cam. I brought my brother Pete and I brought Steel so we could really unpack this thing because I've been talking to my homeboy Lip Pappy. Lip Poppy is driving me crazy. It's silliness, and people are not being honest about what they are witnessing. Cam, you should be in court right now. You should be in court right now because you are in a battle. Somebody should sue you.
Our lawyer up.
The reason we are here is Drake. Drake has sued. He accuses UMG and Spotify of manipulating the market to artificially inflate Kendrick Lamar's diss track, Not Like Us. The court filing claims UMG used Spotify and Apple Siri to push Not Like Us over Drake tracks. Employees perceived as loyal to Drake were allegedly fired as part of an effort to cover up UMG's action. UMG paid influencers and radio stations to boost Lamar's songs without disclosure. A whistleblower revealed bots generated 30 million early streams for Not Like Us. Drake is accusing UMG and Spotify of violating the RICO Act and a New York law.
I'm most intrigued by
so bad he decided to sue his own label that they are both signed to. Now listen, Crooked. Listen, Cam. Y'all have been in hip hop for sure, big bro. You've been in hip hop as long as I can remember. Cam, Crooked, you've been in hip hop at least 30 years, for sure. For sure. Now, not at the professional level, I would imagine. I don't know if you was professionally signed in 1994, but I know it was getting close to when Crooked Eye was getting his first record deal around, not within that 6-7 years. Is this by far the greatest diss track of all time? Just at least offer the reaction, offer the behavior.
I know when I'm talking to G, you gotta pay attention to the words. He said greatest.
Yes.
Yeah, he said greatest.
He didn't say the best. He said the greatest.
Greatest.
So with that being said, I can agree with you on that.
Big bro.
It's the biggest. It's the biggest to ever. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, it had, you know, the table has been set for it to become one of the greatest diss records ever because we are in the social media technology streaming era, and the globe is connected in ways that the globe was not connected when some of our favorite diss records dropped. You know what I'm saying? So the table is set for it to be one of the greatest, if not the greatest, diss record. And let me just put this out here. Same day that it dropped, I went on record on my Instagram, same day, and I said, Kendrick just dropped the top 5 diss record of all time. You know what I'm saying? And they can go back and check my Instagram, same day it dropped, because I understood the frequency he was on. I understood that he was touching a nerve and he was moving the street culture in a way that, you know, once the youngins in the streets get something, it's very hard to stop. You feel me? So he did that, and I recognized it right away. So yeah, I ain't mad at that assessment, bro.
Big bro, you released one of the most scathing diss tracks in the history of West Coast music. One of the most scathing diss tracks.
He said scathing and shit.
Like hot acid burned skin off of your body. Scathing.
I think, man, I think it's the greatest, man. You know, every generation had a sound that they think is tight. You know, to the youngsters now, we might sound outdated or something like that. So this is the language, this is the vibe, this is the frequency that the youth is on, and the youth always run revolution. You know, you got older heads like myself might be behind the scenes trying to give guidance to them, but the youth gonna do what they gonna do. You know what I'm saying? The youth is they gonna run it. And from what I can see, this is the greatest diss record of all times. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Could you imagine if Cube would have sued you?
He damn near did.
But I mean, it happened.
Nah, it's a joke.
Big bro, you saw Tupac. You saw Hit 'Em Up close and personal.
Yeah.
Right? Like, still, you saw Hit 'Em Up close and personal. You saw No Vaseline. You were coming into your adulthood around that time. You know, you was barely hitting 20. You saw Ether. Have you ever saw a diss track that made somebody react like this? You even saw 50 Cent diss Ja Rule.
Man, this is the worst. This is the greatest diss track of all time. It's almost like he bullied this dude into going to go tell.
Absolutely.
This dude is crying, man. This dude is really sad right now. And I'm going to tell you what it is. This dude is almost just being overwhelmed right now, man. Kendrick, you know, not only did he slap him around with the record, but then he comes out with one of the greatest albums of all time.
It's a really great album.
So this dude is just like, he just discombobulated right now, man. I'm going to be real with you. I'm really worried about Drake right now, man. I'm thinking about calling my people because they ain't nothing to play with. I think he's suffering from depression, man. This dude might mess around and jump off a bridge or something, man.
He need that wellness check, huh?
He need that
wellness check for real.
Canadians are not a wartime people.
and that's not what I'm being dead serious. I ain't joking, man. Drake is going through something right now, and ain't nobody in this camp man enough to tell him, man, you looking real crazy right now.
Man.
You think he care about the optics? You think he care about the optics? Because I'm sure when you are a brand as big as Drake, everything that you do is well at least communicated amongst your team. So they had to understand that it would be some backlash. Even though we in a different era, like this era, it's been proven over the last decade that a rapper can damn near do anything, and if he drop a hot song, it'll be forgiven.
But Crook, he's flopped. He don't drop a couple duds in a row, dog. It's over with, dog.
I think this is different. Like the house has been burned down. Like I in the first 72 hours, I was like, this song, not the beyond the verses. I haven't heard a diss track that had a hook that like rocked like in the club and shit like that. But beside that, what Kendrick did, he kicked Drake out of the community. He did that in 72 hours. He made him walk the plank. They were all at the. He made him walk the plank, and he's trying to sue his way back onto the boat.
So do you think? So do you think that his personal community that he's built up, that's a pretty big community? I mean, when I'm on Elon's app, they already saying he not suing Kendrick, he's suing UMG. This ain't about the rap beef. This is about business. That he has a lot of people already forming that perspective and trying to push that narrative.
But you gotta understand,
He
this
has to
dude
sue
is
his
like
way back
Taylor
to relevance.
Swift. He's like Taylor Swift. He like the Backstreet Boys. He gonna have them little fan base like Beyonce got the Beehive. He gonna have the Drakes or whatever they call themselves, the Drakes. He gonna have the little Drakes in this corner like that. But I'm gonna tell you, man, I heard this man's mama even locked him out the house, dog.
This is the equivalent of getting knocked out and then like trying to re-adjudicate whether or not the guy had juiced up gloves.
Damn.
I think what's gonna happen. You got a worst case scenario and a best case scenario. Best case scenario, they don't even entertain this. Somebody in his ear tell him to go on ahead and drop that. Don't even proceed to try to, pursue that. Worst case scenario, this shit worse than Epstein list, dog. Because what's gonna happen is everybody, bots, to the people out there who not inside the industry, they might think, wow, somebody using bots. But everybody in this room right now understands that bots and AI gets used all the time. For some of your favorite artists, most of your favorite artists. Your favorite artist might not even know that bots are being used. It ain't like Kendrick is sitting at a computer in a farm with 1,000 devices, so it don't touch him anyway. But the whole thing is all these people using bots. So the domino effect and the blowback of trying to bring all this to the forefront, and you're gonna bring down some of the biggest artists known to man, and then the whistleblower doesn't usually come out clean on the other side of that. You feel me? So this could be something this is only the tip of the iceberg, y'all. Like,
I'm gonna tell you this, Crook. This man is pissing in the wind, though, bro. You don't think he using bots?
I mean, listen, he might not think he using bots, but
might not think he using
bots is going.
I'm gonna tell you, bro, his hubris and his arrogance probably got him thinking I'm the greatest. I don't have to resort to such measures.
That's really interesting.
But believe me, the hot line bling and all that stuff got bots on it, bots and stuff on it too.
And why would he think? Because you said they're both on the same label. So why would he think that his own label only uses bots for the other guy and not for him? Because he's suing the label for doing it.
Hey, I think he keep on playing with Lucian Grange and them. He's gonna be cellmates with Diddy. You better leave them people alone.
That's what I was about to say. I think Diddy's behind this because now Diddy has the second most interesting trial in hip hop.
Something Crooked said. This is why I've been saying he's not hip hop, right? Because there's a thing that, and I'll be honest, right? Cam, who is one of the best of us, right? The Nation of Islam cleaned him up, got him together. Steele, who's a father and a husband and does great things, and Crooked, who's been in this business. We all still worry about the optics. That's the thing about being street. Street don't mean you actually have to commit a crime. Street means you protect your reputation differently because you come from a level of poverty. and you need to keep your reputation intact. Every last person on the stage, not named Pete, definitely overvalues their reputation. And that's the cornerstone of hip hop.
G. However many episodes ago, you asked me why I wasn't trying to get into fights in high school. And what did I say? My dad works too hard for me to get my dad sued.
So this is what I told him, Crook. I said, if you want to know if you hip hop, it's really simple. The first hip hop lesson most people get, right? The first hip hop lesson is the first time you go to school and somebody put their hands on you. And you come home and you tell your mom or your father, hey, somebody put their hands on me. If your parents say, you better hit them motherfuckers back, your ass is hip hop. If you outside of your house and your friend saying you better hit them back, that's hip hop. You know why? Because hip hop is not worried about the rules. The street is a greater sense of justice. The street culture is a greater sense of justice. We understand justice ain't on our side, so we have to take justice in our own hands. That's a cornerstone of street urban culture, hip hop. That's something we all share. I don't care if our mom was a nurse like my mom, Cam, whatever your mom, did whatever your mom, feel me? Crook, whatever your mom, yeah, you better hit him back. That father, somebody say hit him back. Did nobody tell you to go tell a teacher? Not one person said, you know what, don't hit him back. Go tell the teacher, tell the principal. Matter of fact, my mama would say, you're not going to get in trouble if they get you in trouble. So I was telling Pete that, and I asked Pete to prove it, and Pete said his father told him, you better not hit nobody back. I don't need no reason for nobody to sue me.
Right.
Yeah. And the worst fight I saw in high school, some dude got his block knocked the fuck off. His dad had to write a 6-figure check.
Damn.
Man.
That's Drake.
So Drake got his block knocked off, and he chose to sue.
That's the
when I send y'all a picture of Dwayne Wayne, that mean I'm from a different world.
Man.
Oh man, I don't know how to feel. This is almost unbelievable. So yes, Crook, I'm with you. I think he's not worried about the optics, but his problem is he's worried about the optics. That's the only thing, like, because he's not hip hop in culture and being raised, he don't quite understand what's happening. But because he's idolizes culture like tons of basketball players, he's idolizing culture like tons of people on the outskirts, right? That they start to participate, right? And then they start to try to live up to the rules, to the foundation of it. You know, to the point where even when he got robbed, he told the police, and he felt like, you know, it was things that he did that really threw me off. And I'm like, but I never thought he was street, Crook. When I first met him, I never thought he was street. I'm like, this is a good dude. Like, this is a good kid. You know how you just, nigga, we the same. I'm like, yeah, he's a good kid. You know what I mean? So it was weird to me that when his music started to get street and it started talking about hurting people and spinning the block and talking tough, and I'm like, yeah, it's just music. And then I realized when I first started to, you remember, Crook, when I would call you when I was just getting a grasp on what hip hop was from a true cultural standpoint, and I was figuring it out, and I was like, oh, he's not hip hop. And I didn't think anything wrong with it because I thought he was an unbelievably talented musician. I never cared if he was or wasn't.
Right.
You feel me? It was like he was extremely dope. Like, this dude was a master. But then I noticed when I said it publicly, talking to Charlamagne in the interview, and like it was like a kind of an attitude from his team to me. And I'm like, wait a minute, are y'all mad at me for saying this? And it's like they wanted people to really believe that he was street.
For real,
I went through the same thing with Rose. It was like, I'm saying something. I'm like, yeah, like because I make street rap, I have to be honest and be a lot more transparent because everybody else that's competing in the competing space, what I mean? They get to kind of fantasize it. They get to, like I was saying, Ross, who's in my top 5, like he can say he got $98 million in the Bank of America bank account, or Noriega, or he names himself after a guy that I actually know. And it wasn't no shade, Crook on Olivia, bro. It wasn't no shade. It was just like, these are obvious truths. Niggas was mad at me. And I'm like, do you think you fooling people?
Yes.
And
But
then
the thing
I'm
about
not
it
sure
is,
if I'm crazy or if they crazy, because I'm like, wait a minute, are they fooling people?
so that's where we come to this situation at hand. It's like a magician telling everybody how the magic tricks are performed. When you get up here, you start talking about these bots and this AI and this stream shit, you about to pull back the curtain and show everybody the Wizard of Oz. You feel me? And let me tell you, they not playing about this, bro. In 2015,
no, they ain't.
2015, I did a show called One Shot. I created this show for BET, rap competition, all this kind of good stuff. One of the reoccurring judges, good dude, family man. I met his kids, I met his wife, family man. You know what I'm saying? Real good dude. We had a successful season. It was great. A couple years went by. Everybody started doing their own little thing. We all went back to our respective corners. This year, I woke up and his face was all over the news. And I was like, what is he doing all over the news? Feds yanked him out of his crib in front of his kids and his wife, arrested him, and charged him with an accusation that he used AI and bots and manipulated streams to generate $10 million for himself. And they are saying that this is one of the biggest streaming crimes since they started passing laws against fraudulent streams.
Sure.
That man owns businesses, homes. He's a hardworking dude. They snatched him straight up. They not playing about that shit, bro. Unless you are with the machine. Then they turn the other cheek.
They are the only ones that permitted to cheat.
Gee, you know what this reminds me of?
No.
It's like, and this is what I kind of think it is. If this is Drake's second L he's ever taken since the day he was born, what was his first L?
Not Pusha T?
I mean, that was a speed bump. That didn't impact anything. This reminds me of Hillary Clinton losing the election in 2016 and blaming it on the Russians. Like, total shock and disbelief. And I'm like, this can't be possible. I'm me. I don't take L's like this. It had to have been manipulated by somebody outside of the system.
Bro, I'm going to tell you, I think with Drake, man, I think Drake is the delusional guy. I think he's the direct result of the everybody gets a trophy syndrome. That was one of the things I hated. Gee, you remember when I was coaching youth football, I told you I hated the idea of everybody getting a trophy?
Mm-hmm.
This is the same thing. Drake doesn't think he's supposed to lose. He's entitled. His privilege is coming out and showing right now. How dare this dude from Compton beat me? He's not better than me. He's not more received than me. This is his privilege. This is his privilege on the thing. He's having a temper tantrum right now.
You know what? That actually makes sense.
This is his privilege.
You don't
This is his
believe it.
privilege, bro.
He really is having a privilege moment.
You got affluenza and shit.
You know, how dare this little nigga from Compton beat me?
I never thought about it like that, but that makes sense. He's having a privilege moment.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he called Doc Nick the N-word with the hard R, bro. I'm serious.
I believe you.
I bet he's on that effing nigger.
Who would he say that to, though? Because for people who probably are around him all the time, you know, probably aren't like on his Jewish path in the industry.
Probably his
Maybe
mom was
moms.
hugging him and he's still sucking her breast or whatever he's doing.
Still out here with the blammer, huh?
Man,
This how you get
but you
down
know
over
what
here?
though? Look, this is ridiculous, right? You know, me and she was talking, right? Everybody on this panel except for one of us is from the hood, right? Everybody from the ghetto. We've all lost a fight before, right? But we never told. Like she was alluding to earlier. We never went back and told nobody. We just went and fought that dude again and again until we got a victory or we left him the hell alone, right? Whatever it was, but we didn't go tell nobody. This dude really thinks that he has the right to go, man, you lost the battle, bro. And I'm pretty sure he don't heard that album. I'm pretty sure. And he can't, one person you can't lie to. You can't lie to yourself. I'm pretty sure he don't heard that shit and said, man, this is really good. I'm going to sue him. He's ruined me.
He said, I'm going to sue him.
No.
So what are all the farm owners thinking right now?
This is a deeper conversation, bro, because I've always thought if you are mixed with black, you are black, right? But then I've always thought, big bro, and this is a good thing to talk to you about. I've always thought of black as a responsibility. It ain't like my skin is black, right? Being black is a desire to care for other people that have been through the same type of struggles like myself. It's a responsibility to be black. And I noticed it and I thought to myself, like, I used to always say he wasn't hip hop. People thought that that was the equivalent of me saying he's not black. And it's like, no, he's black. His father is a black man.
Yeah, he's black, dog, but being black, like you said, is more than skin color, man. It's a condition, man. It's like, it's your soul. It's in here, man.
And think about it also, like, if you're from a biracial parenting, you know, or what's the word? Like a conception, and you're raised by one parent, you're going to be pretty much that. You know what I mean?
And that's what I was thinking, right? So that was always my thing.
I've had to have a lot of those conversations.
Right? That was always my thing about him not being hip hop, right? He was raised by his mother in a Jewish community, going to Jewish school. Right? That was always my thought, right? So
Orange Mound or some shit.
Man, now I can see if he was raised Jewish in the Bronx. You know, you hang out outside. Guess what? You back to the streets. But again, his circumstances, his environment, he was raised as a Jewish man. So I always thought of him as Jewish, but I understood his father was a brother from Memphis, right? But
his father should be represented.
You know, like if that's not going on, and like to me, you're not biracial. There's no such thing. You're black. If you know what I mean, you black. If you black, you black. It don't even matter what happened, because theoretically everybody comes from black people from the start. So for sure, if you cut it back down, you black. So I understood he was Jewish based off culture, minus the conversation of race, minus the conversation of his again ethnicity. You know what I mean? He's a Jewish man. You know, racially he's a Negroid, right? But again, if race is not a real construct, he would be a Jewish man. And if you think about how he's going about this battle right now,
we got to chill on saying that J word on here, man.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that a bad thing?
You got to wait till Trump is in office. You got to wait till January 6th, then you can say that.
Well, I mean, listen, I don't think it's negative. I mean, that's just culturally who his peoples are. I don't know why would YouTube be
I think that there's a difference in that sense between saying like the J's and J-ish. But I don't know. I'm not in charge of it.
Culturally,
I don't even know if that matters, man. I just think that the dude don't have no culture, man.
He does, but that's my point still. He does.
Where would he get it from? He was raised by his mom in an
culture.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. He doesn't like, when you've never really been through nothing, like, you know how you talk about him and his mom had a hard time, man? Him and his mom's hard time was way different than our parents' hard time. I guarantee you.
I don't want to get into the struggle Olympics. We ain't gonna even waste the time with that. I'm just saying, for sure, I always thought of him as that, but like, this is next level, not hip. Like I always thought he wasn't hip, but like this is for sure the most unhip thing he's ever done in his life that I've ever saw that I saw.
Or is it just the most Jewish thing he's ever done in his life?
That's my point. It makes sense when you
I
think of.
don't know. I'm not even gonna
Oh
put
no,
that
because
on
I
the
can't
Jewish.
play the. Well, the Beastie Boys was still.
It was a joke. I
That's
was
what I'm
making a
saying.
joke.
It'll been a whole bunch. It's a whole bunch of Jewish people in hip hop, bro. They ain't never dropped a
Yeah, but
dime on
I
nobody for
think
losing the battle.
I think those people still are street. Like the Beastie Boys still grew up in a punk rock environment to be able to create the music. So there's a level of street urbanness to it. Because again, punk rock and hip hop are stepbrothers. They both come from street urban backgrounds, just different, mothers, places on earth. We didn't come up in the same places, but the same oppression or whatever misunderstood. Like the skaters, Cam, when I was younger, the skaters was like that. They really felt like they were, you know what I'm saying? Like,
ain't Drake from the Canada streets though? Ain't he rocking with the Hells Angels and all that? That's street.
no,
He ain't.
no.
Oh,
No, because for sure they wouldn't be suing nobody. It'd be a rumble. It'd be a squabble.
Hey, let me ask y'all this, Crook. Wouldn't you say that Drake is a good artist?
Yeah.
Drake was probably one of the biggest. If you want to call him a hip hop artist, he's one of the biggest recording artists in the industry. I believe that this is going to be really bad for him.
Somebody's making a point. Shout out to, we've been trying to figure out what it was. Shout out to David Jones. He said, I think Crooked's mic is too close to his speakers.
yeah.
That may be where we get in the feedback.
That could be it, because I had the same thing happen one time when
Too
I tried
close
to put
to
my
what
earphones in.
speakers?
I don't know, because I don't think you got a mic.
No, I don't got a mic. I'm just on the phone.
Yeah.
So somebody's mic may be too close to their speakers.
My mic right here, but it ain't even plugged up.
Let me see something. But you know what I think it'd be to a little bit, man, to a certain extent with these things. I think I don't know. This is gonna be weird, but this is gonna be bad for old boy.
Ashes, you got your earpieces in, or are you listening to your thing out of
Well, that's what I was gonna say. You probably got to have an earpiece in.
No, I mean,
I'm just muting my mic when y'all talk.
Oh,
yeah, it's definitely it couldn't be mine.
It's coming from Crook. It's coming from Crook's side.
Oh, it might be coming from Crook. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but it's coming from that.
But we might as well keep going. We can't spend a whole bunch of time.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
No, David Jones, thank you, brother. You're not causing the issue. Thank you. So Ryan, right? And this is the tricky part, Ryan. That's the bad question I don't really want to deal with, but I'm gonna deal with it anyway. So everyone with African ancestry is black now.
Nah, not the our definition of black really is basically descendants of slave experience. The black descendants of slaves in North America. So Drake is supposed to, he's half of that, but he wasn't raised on, on that side of the fence, so he don't really identify that with that.
I don't want to get into this thing like mixed people ain't black, man, because I know a whole bunch of down mixed people.
No, we all mix. If you an American and you got a last name that ain't African, you've been cut.
Yeah,
you cut.
And that's what I'm saying. So it's like
but that's not. But that's what I'm saying. No. So no. Everybody that's of African descent, because Elon Musk is of African descent. It's obvious he's not a black man. So no. Right. You don't even got to go that far. We don't even waste that much time. No.
Hey, do you think that Drake is kind of going crazy because he's a hit maker. He make fire music, but he didn't understand the dynamics of Kendrick's lineage and the audience and what he represents, because Drake is a hit maker, but when you start trying to come over here on this fence and get into this warrior type of, street warrior type of thing, you're going to catch an L like you never caught before. And I think he,
1,000%.
Yeah.
Well, I just think Drake just stepped in some, I think Drake just stepped in some mess. I'm going to tell you what it was. This is my thing. Drake was going to all the URL battles, and I think he was just really intrigued by this, and he just thought that maybe he can get one off on Dot and just kind of bit off more than he can shoot.
I think he's spazzing out because he can't reach the audience he's always been able to reach.
Well, I think so. So here, let's my man Cricket here, so I can keep some facts. So this is some facts. right? Since the days of selling records, record labels been buying records. You really can't pay for a hit record. Your record actually got to work, especially at any major market, right? You could try to get a promotional thing going, but eventually your record got to call out. As far as streaming and stuff, I do believe that there are some +1s and +2s for streams. I believe that's happening, but your record actually has to stream. You can't take a record that nobody knows and make it work. And the problem is there have been articles. There was an article in a Rolling Stone accusing Drake of the same thing. And before we just start using that P word, right? Like the payola word, you can't. Steeler be the first one. Camel be the first one. Crook, me. You can't pay for a hit record. It actually got to be a hit record.
Don't work that
You
way.
only can pay for the promotion to have a chance to have a hit record. Maybe if you at a small station that don't have $1 million endorsements deal from Pepsi's and Universal City Nissans, maybe if you don't have a station that has those, but if you have a station that's making great money off of advertisement, you could not pay for a hit record. So that's the first thing. Your record actually has to perform. That's a fact. I know it. I'd have backed it up a million. I know it's true. So payola is an overstated concept.
I want to add something else to that. And Cam, you and Crook can both attest to this. We used to see people back in the day that had what you call turntable hits. They would have these huge records at radio, but then the first week when SoundScan would come out, they would sell 1,000 copies. Remember those? Remember when that would happen, Cam?
Yeah. Yeah.
People still have to go out and purchase your record. However it is now, people still have to go stream. Like you said, you can't cheat your way to a big record. Not the record, not as big as They Not Like Us was, though. You can't cheat with that.
Yeah,
you can't create that. It was, everybody would be doing it.
Yeah, Drake just ain't he not from that world where he could be battle rapping like real street dudes. Like it's just the culture won't allow it. It's just like a governor on the culture. It's just it just won't allow it. If he stuck to his singing hooks and all that, like he'll smash Kendrick. If Kendrick came over to his side of the fence and he would ruin his own career. But Drake is the one that made the mistake and came over here, and he stepped on some landmines and shit.
And that's a great point. He didn't have to be this at first, right? He didn't have to be this at first. Again, everybody, this is No Ceilings Live. The YouTube link is, hold on, I'm gonna share it on Twitter. It goes live on the YouTube, on the No Ceilings podcast. Shout out to my brothers for coming down and making it happen with me. Let me tweet this link. Yeah, it's Crooked Phone for sure. Dang, that dude caught it. He must be like an engineer or something.
Yeah.
I don't know how he caught that. So again, he had the game in his hand when he first came to Cash Money, because he was actually the genuine article. He was a really great talent, actor. You know what I mean? Like he had been a part of a TV show that was doing well. He was well trained, prepared as an entertainer. And he wasn't too shabby on the record side. He was a killer. Like he was a monster at making records. Like I remember the first time meeting him and then hearing his records and being like, I can't believe this is the same dude that made both of these. It almost didn't seem possible.
He's the first reverse engineered rapper.
That's a great point.
Every other rapper has gone from inner city to suburbs. He did it the other way.
And that's what I think is killing him, right, Pete? Because
you could only go so far in before you get too far in. You can never go too far out.
Yeah, he tried to go all the way in. And now, like, he's in this weird space to where he's trying to kind of live like the culture, right? Where he's doing stuff, taking the situation into his own hands, justice, different small things. But it's like, well, these things still apply. Like in the Kendrick battle didn't do anything but show everybody that obviously culturally he's not what people thought he was, which is weird. I don't know how they thought he was that. But also it's like, not only did you turn the culture and have the culture looking at you crazy, right, within that battle, but also now you're about to turn the business against you. Like the business was never against you. The business built you. The business gave you all the looks because you wouldn't have came through the streets. you couldn't have went to all the places you need to do all of that stuff.
He went Tropic Thunder. He went full such and such.
That's actually a good
Robert Downey
I like
Jr. whatever his name is.
Yeah,
Robert
Downey. Yeah.
This guy's
Never go full gangster.
Never go full gangster. He went full gangster. That's a great point, big bro.
Oh God.
He went full gangster.
He said something about bodies to the point when I first heard it, I was like, I thought that bodies meant something else. It made me think that I didn't know what it meant.
Bodies, and
I know, but when I first heard him say it, I was like, shit. All this time, I thought it meant that. It must mean something different. Because he's saying,
I thought he meant girls, like he had girl bodies or something. But he was talking about flying.
Yeah. I'm like, man, I thought bodies was people getting killed. It was pussy all this time.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you, I don't think color has nothing to do with it, man. Let's take Eminem for example, right?
Eminem has never pressed.
But
Eminem was raised in Detroit with Ninja.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's different, bro. Eminem's really he's really with the shits. You know what I mean?
He's a punk rock kid that grew up in Detroit.
But Eminem's very respectful of that relationship.
And I think that's because he really know what time it is. You know, so I just think, man, I think this is gonna be bad for dude. And to be honest with you, it's almost like he just like everybody talking about Dot's album, and then he come out with this bullshit, right? It's like, man, he just want to make it about him.
All right, so I got a question for y'all. Sorry, I had to go get my charger. My question is, what are the ramifications of this case? Because
in court,
people are speculating that he's trying to get off of Universal. And this is the movie making.
But I don't understand how could this get him off of Universal accusing another artist? This is like that Gunna case, right? This is like that Gunna case where people are confusing, right? Like what a plea is. As somebody that's took 2 pleas in my life, a plea is when you only admit to the things that you did, or you only base it off of the things you did. In Gunna's situation, right, with Thug, the reason he told on Thug is he said he did nothing and everybody else did everything. Now, maybe if Drake's case would have been more like, you know what, the label hasn't been paying me, they inflated these streams, but he's doing the same thing where he's like, no, this guy, they're over here doing this for him. Y'all signed to the same people. They're doing this for him. They're doing this for him. They're doing this for him. He's not even talking about what they're doing for him. He's not even saying what they did to wrong him. They're saying them marketing Kendrick Lamar's song, I have a problem with it because they did it unfairly. He's not even equating it Crook to his shit.
But that kind of does support his point, though, because he can't demonstrate standing because he hasn't been damaged by it in the way that he's suggesting. So if it's, look, this is going to be ugly in discovery for us as Universal, and he says, hey, look, if you guys let me out of my deal, we could drop this right now before it goes to discovery. Sure,
Man,
but I don't understand how you
get involved. They ain't gonna matter, dog. Once these people get involved, it ain't gonna matter.
It's a civil case to Crooked's point, right? So what Peter's saying makes the most sense. The reality is maybe he kicks up enough dust to where they like he settles and like, let me out of my deal and I'll drop the case so you don't have to present. But I'm gonna tell you right now, ahead of time, UMG not gonna do that. They are past the point of you bullying them.
Man, come on, man. Ain't nobody
you're
bigger
not
than,
going
nobody bigger than the program. Ain't nobody bigger than the program.
You're not going to bully UMG. And if he thought that was his plan,
my
he's
question
going
is
to learn the hard way
like
that you are not going to bully these people.
What does he benefit from getting out of that deal? Where's he going to go right now? His value is at its all-time low, and you want to get out of your deal? That in of itself strategically makes no sense.
I don't know. Don't get it twisted.
Don't get it
still
twisted.
got some value.
He will make money as an independent artist. We know that. We can
Yeah, he
all
will.
agree on
Drake still
that.
got
More?
some value.
How much do a rapper supposed to make before he feel like he don't need to have to make no more? Like I don't understand that part.
Hold on. What? Which world do you tell on one dope man
Right.
and get another? Even Crook as an independent, which world do you tell on one dope man and then people know you told on the dope man and another plug said, come over here and get this money?
Well,
Whitey Bulger.
yeah, it's not a smart plan. I'm just telling you that he can definitely be on that perspective. Like, yo, I could just jet out and go independent or go somewhere else and get my bread. I'm not saying it's a smart plan, but his value is still there. He has value.
Sure.
So do y'all think he's clean? Say just like what's really ruining his image is the A minor, that subject, right? So is he clean enough to try to do that to Universal? You know what I'm saying? Is he clean enough to, you understand what I'm saying? Like he
No.
just
Man, I'm
smashed
tell you this.
he just smashed
It's a bad
everything
plan.
moving. Yeah, he just smashed
Man, we
everything
just
moving.
saw this, man. We just saw this whole thing with Puffy. As soon as Puffy started messing with them folks, man, he was sitting up in the jail cell. He
Damn.
wasn't leaving
Everybody-
people alone, dog.
Everybody wanted to go to Puffy.
I just out of
Everybody wanted to
curiosity.
go to Puffy party. And then one day, overnight, I was the only person. I went from being the only person that didn't care about going to Puff party because I don't drink and mess with the broads or do no drugs like that. To now everybody don't want to go to Puffy party. So again, trust me, he already did more than enough for them people to hang him. That we used to have this conversation all the time. Cam, like they're not going to let you get that far without having something on you.
Right.
That just they not finna make you. They not finna just empower you and make you a monster and you could just move about the cabin for free. So I do think Crooked is right. There has to be, that would make sense, right? There's a idea and an intention to get out of a deal. But the way you going about it, first off, you're exposing business practices that they use for all of y'all. Everybody.
And furthermore, do you want to be independent and be blackballed from Spotify?
And the problem is you're not going to be blackballed from Spotify, but they're going to comb your shit. Everybody, because again, the dope trade is very much the dope trade. If you tell on somebody in the dope trade, nobody is going to give you dope.
That's real.
If they don't kill you.
Did you peep the move he made when he was releasing music on a website?
Yes.
You think that was the testing grounds?
No.
Just out of curiosity, what does an artist of that magnitude, what does his deal look like? Because I would assume he could kind of not craft his own deal, but kind of craft his own deal. What do you think his deal looks like?
What you think Universal gave him, Crook? Maybe 20 million?
I think it's 40. Let me let Crook out. Hold up, Crook. Let me get you going.
They said a $400 million deal. That's what they say. Now we understand people be tripping and saying anything for marketing, but they said $400 million, which is making it even more puzzling to why you would go up against them in this situation. It's like, what are your intentions? I guess that's the question. What are your intentions? Because the deed is done.
So could it be controlled opposition? Could this be deeper than we think it is?
The content.
Yeah.
I have zero faith. I have zero faith that Drake is a chess player. And I think I think everybody in the industry adds a zero to their deal. So if the deal was supposed to be 400 million, it's 40 million.
I'm not gonna mention any names.
I think he might have got 40, man, because there ain't nobody giving nobody. It's too many things that can happen. You get somebody that much money.
It depends, I guess, who owns the masters in that scenario. If he's getting 40, he must own the lion's share of his rights.
He don't own nothing.
I just heard on good authority, like really, really, really good authority, about an artist whose music I've never even heard getting paid $100 for his catalog and future catalog rights.
Yeah, but all of that stuff, forgive me, hold up, Crook. All of that stuff is fluff. Like all of that numbers, I know for sure facts, I could prove it, but all of that number is fluff. This
It's
has
too hard
this
to make
this
that money
this is
back.
this is an emotional response. This is an emotional response to
I believe that.
yeah, to bad event in his life that is really traumatizing him. I know this sounds crazy because losing a rap battle to us would probably hurt our feelings, but it ain't the end of the world. But
It's the
for
Russia
somebody
collusion
else,
Tell you
scandal.
he's having an emotional breakdown.
you're right.
It is.
I
It's the Russia
genuinely
collusion
think
scandal.
he really is calling this boy the hard ER behind the door, behind closed doors.
Yo, so let's go into the conspiracy realm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let's take this into the conspiracy realm real quick. The chair of Sony Music recently said when rap became the #1 genre, instead they signed 1,000 rap artists instead of 100 great rap artists.
Mm.
And that's the reason why rap is declining for them. And they foresee it going back underground and coming up a lot stronger after going back underground. So, in essence, what I heard was you're going to try to force rap music to go back underground. You're defunding all these marketing budgets. You're shifting the money to different genres and to catalogs that you already own. And that's the focus of the spending. And now we're going to try to let rap just go underground. So is this part of that whole
That makes sense.
scenario?
Let the laboratory pay for itself, and then you purchase the medicine when it's done.
So is Lucian Grange connection to Diddy playing any part in this? Are they doing some diabolical
Man,
stuff
Lucian is
behind
about
it?
to pass all that down to his son. His son is about to take over.
Well, I'm just saying that's still connected to the father though. So if they twist the father up, the son ain't got no action. So is he trying to just sink the ship? You know what I'm saying, and let the Titanic go down and scatter before that happens?
I don't think so, bro. I think the Universal Music Group is indestructible, bro.
No such thing. No such thing. That's like saying America is indestructible.
No, but listen, you know what I'm saying, Cam.
I like America's chances less.
Right.
I like UMG's chances better of being indestructible.
That's what I'm
Nothing's
saying,
bigger
Cam.
than the
That's like,
universe.
Right.
I'm just saying, bro, they have a lot of money, they have a lot of influence, bro, and it's just not music. There's a lot of people in that building, a lot of big megastars. You got to remember, everybody's over there. Ain't Snoop over there, G?
Everybody is over there.
That's what I'm saying.
It's the only thing left to some degree. It's like 2 labels left. And
ain't everybody on the Diddy party list, the Epstein list?
That list will never come out.
I don't know. Never say never.
And then if it comes out, nobody is going to react. No, listen, this whole Diddy travesty is all a sham. Don't nobody care about nobody care about Diddy buying no prostitutes. Nobody care about how Diddy was partying. Nobody care because all of these people, even the people in the chat, party the same way. I am the honorable Glasses Loc, the only nigga that don't party that way.
I think it's only
Elijah
fair.
Muhammad and Cam, the only people that don't party that way. This is normal. People party. The reason this matters to Diddy is because some other stuff is going on. Something else is wrong. You feel me? So again, it's like Crooked is making some compelling points. Could he be making a play to get out of his deal? Because I did hear that a couple times today. This is the wrong way to do it. These are the wrong enemies to have if you plan to be in this business after today. After today, it don't even matter whether or not they let him go. It don't even matter if they let him go. It does not matter if they let him go. He made the greatest mistake of his life today.
Yeah.
In the business, funny? He made the greatest mistake of his life in the culture a couple months ago during the battle, but he made the greatest mistake of his life today, challenging the business.
Gee, you know what this could possibly open the door to? What have we seen a whole trend of in the last couple of years? And by a couple, I mean 60. But opportunistic Department of Justice prosecutors. He could do this, walk away tomorrow, and potentially entice actual criminal investigation action by people who want to get their name out there.
It's not possible.
You know what? I'm going to tell you this. Messing with somebody like Universal P, it would mess around and reverse back on him. They would fuck around and twist him up somehow and start looking at this stuff. Because I'm going to tell you, all he's going to do is get himself further scrutinized. So if he got anything done, if he got anything filed in his catalog, dog, he's going to be in trouble. He might be sitting next to Diddy somewhere. I'm telling you, man, these people ain't nothing to play with, dog.
Yeah, they not nothing to play with. And he like Biden to me, or you know what I'm saying? He ain't making the decisions. He worth too much to too many people for us to think Drake just made that decision. Somebody else, his handlers, his advisors, somebody else is making him do that, I think.
Man,
or either
David Jones,
he's moving on his own reconnaissance and not talking to them, and that's going to mean his further destruction.
Shout out to David Jones for the $5. The petition is filed under a vague LLC. He didn't want this to go public, but they're trying to flip it like he's looking out for indie artists. That is a major boy. That David Jones, he figured out the audio problem we couldn't figure it out with Crooks.
Man, David Jones,
and then he the case.
I feel like my square is going to get replaced by David Jones real quick.
Squishy is the number one supporter of No Ceilings Lunch Hour Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at noon. Dave, I need you at the lunch hour at 12 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday noon. You got to be there
the
because
entire
you
shoot
cooking,
show at 8
I don't
p.m.
know what you got going on. You cooking. It's kind of late to be cooking, but you cook, but you cooking.
You know what I'm gonna tell you though, man. We see this all the time, and especially in music, man. People allow their hubris to start thinking, man, that they almost on a deity level, man, and they find out they Icarus and fly too close to the sun and wind up getting heated up. I'm telling you, man, this is gonna end bad for dude.
Yeah, it almost can't work out. Like he's not, like he's empowered by the business. Like without the business, how you like?
He effed on both sides. Like he already got something he can't handle from Kendrick and these West Coast and now the United States fans, these street people, the soldiers, and now he want to throw a fit against daddy or mama or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's a lose-lose situation.
All he had to do, man, I'm pretty sure his advisors told him this. All he had to do was shut the fuck up and go somewhere and chill.
You know what's funny? That we keep thinking his advisors is telling him that. I'm starting to really believe, no, they're not.
I agree with Glasses.
I think it's Cricket Eye told me this a long time ago. He said, Glasses, people be telling these people whatever they want to hear. He told me that at an Elephant Bar in Lakewood. He said, Glasses, these people telling these people whatever they want to hear. They're trying to keep their business. And I equated that to people trying to keep their positions at the job. So they telling the payroll whatever they need to hear to stay on the payroll.
I can see that because I can see like Diddy did the same thing. So I guess he didn't have no advisors to tell him to try to sue De Leon or whoever that was the city. So I guess you could be right about that.
Well, it would be kind of funny. This is all arrogance, man. This is all his arrogance, man. This will be his undoing. Because he seems to think I'm Drake, I can do whatever the hell I want to do. And he do this, he go find out the hard way.
He already did it. That's the problem. Like he already put that out there.
Yeah, you can't call it
like
back.
Diddy's lawsuit was like, it wasn't about that. Like he filed this so he could force them to deliver material, paperwork, and stuff about the claims. Like if you start getting, the government in these people business, you're gonna have a real problem.
Ain't the best question though?
Universal pay a lot of money. Universal pay a lot of taxes, bro. It's a lot of people making money off of Universal. Man. You got to remember, it ain't just music. It's movies. It's liquor. It's all kind of stuff they got their hands in, man. and they pay a lot of money. They make a lot of money, and they make a lot of other people money.
So the question is why? Then let's look at why. If Drake is accusing them of that, why would they do that to Drake? Why? What would the motivation be?
But big bro, that's Drake in his mind.
No, I mean just let's humor that though. Let's just try to go down that little rabbit hole for a second. What would they have against Drake? Why would they favor Kendrick over Drake?
It would be almost kind of like the way you see, you know how like with regard to certain like virality algorithms, when something starts to get hot, they go like the algorithm identifies it. It went from 0 to 1,000 like really fast, so it'll flood it, so it goes from 1,000 to 10 million, and perhaps they were just looking at, all right, what Kendrick just did is bigger than what we foresee Drake doing in the near future. So we're going to flood this and capitalize on this moment because this is the moment that we're going to get the most out of.
At Drake's expense of being called the A minor. So they don't care nothing about his character.
Now check this out. Gee, we all know that let's say he did get 400 million. You don't get all that money at once, and there's some stipulations in there too. Let's say they don't want to give him the rest of that money, and they do kind of want to F him off.
And sometimes, you know, it might be like Jerry Krause and the 1998 Bulls. Look, you've peaked.
Honestly, I cannot think of one single reason that the business would empower Kendrick over Drake.
Me neither.
I can't think Crooks. I can't think of a sole reason.
5-year outlook.
The business they're the same age. Not one sole reason can I think of why the business would empower Kendrick. Like Drake has had so many records, smash hit records. I think he's like 13 in, 14 in. Like he has more #1 records on the Hot 100 than Michael Jackson.
Kendrick forced their hands. Kendrick kicked him out of the community. He forced their hand.
I don't know if that's even true because
I gotta ask Crook this question. At any point, man, did Drake reach out to you for you to rescue him, man, for you to donate your pen to him?
Yo, still, man, that's hilarious. You know what I'm saying? That's hysterical, but real talk, it is kind of like, why would they, like, it would have to be some behind the scenes stuff that we not privy to. That could be the only reason why they would choose to push Kendrick and push Drake out. You know what I'm saying? Because even a mid-tier Drake is bringing them money. You know what I'm saying? So,
and I'm gonna tell you, dog, people got it twisted. Drake was a bigger artist than Kendrick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, but mine is, hold up, I got you, Crook. But mine is the bigger artist. I cannot think of one sole reason the label chooses Kendrick over Drake. It doesn't make sense. Like he had to actually win I mean, listen, he had better records. I think during the battle, I think Drake didn't lean to his strategy of making really good records that could be played all over the country. I think he really went into it with a battle mind. I'm going to battle this guy. Like, you know, he believed all of the hype of battle rap. And you know, when he went away from what worked for him in the Meek Mill battle, right, which was back to back, and then he gets to the even when he gets in the Pusha T battle, he drops a rap song, like where he's just rapping. And then he gets in the Kendrick battle, and the push-up record is dope, right? This is good, catchy, but then every other record is not a really great record, right? So I think he lost the battle on his own. I think he lost the battle on his own, right? But I could not find one reason why the business would ever favor Kendrick over Drake. I can't find one reason in my mind.
No, I think that's kind of reaching right there. I think it's kind of reaching, bro. And I'm going to tell you what it is, man. Drake has been living out his fantasies over the last 10, 15 years, right? He's been messing with girls that he probably would have never had the chance to knock down if he wasn't Drake. You got to remember, that dude used to look corny, G, before he got the money and made up and all that.
Not didn't used to.
He looks corny yesterday.
Yeah, right now, today.
Yeah,
He just looks like he's impersonating us being corny.
That's what I'm saying. He's just a real corny dude when you really think about it, right? So he's been living fantasies. He's been really fascinated with battle rap. He's been going to leagues, been sponsoring leagues. He sponsored the whole URL, but then, they little streaming thing they had going on. And he really thought in his mind, this is going to be my chance to immortalize myself in a battle.
He did an incredible job with the Meek Mill battle. Hold on, let me get through these super chats real quick. Shout out to Captain D Hart. Thanks for the $5, brother. It's been reported he is in contract negotiations before the battle started. Don't know if that's true, but it's on Twitter. Now, he had did that a couple years ago. Maybe he did for an extension, but I know he did that a year or two ago. Shout out to Caleb Production. Thanks for the $2, my brother. It's spiritual. I really believe God writers. I think I agree with you in the innate sense of the battle, but that is not what Universal Music Group is pushing is righteous people. Not like, forgive me, because I don't want to say that they don't have any talent that's righteous. I'm saying I don't think that's a weighing factor for them to market and act is if they're a righteous person. I just think that's the furthest thing from their mind. I think, I don't want to I don't want to go too hard on them, because I don't know business practices. I ain't been in there, but the last thing that I get from them is righteous. I don't get that as far as artistry. Shout out to the homie Omar Adu. Thanks for the $5. This is some great dialogue. Salute, fellas. Glad you enjoying it, man. We tackling it right now this late because this is just breaking events. It just matters.
Yo, Glasses. Let's go back to the battle real quick. I feel like we're still is talking about going into all these battle rap events and all that. The first thing you peep in that world is people use angles. And you know what I mean? His angle was to Lil Bro Kendrick. He just wanted to Lil Broing. You feel me? And Kendrick was coming with concept records like Meet the Grams, and he was taking it all the way around the world with his pen as far as coming, on some battle shit. And I feel like if he was really paying attention in them battle events, then we would have different records right now. And on the tip of the the spirituality tip, I don't think he's talking about Universal Music spirituality and they practices. I think he's talking about just period. Like it's time for, something else to come into play because of all of the demons in the music's playground right now. You feel me?
No, totally agree that there's a real demand for it. The universe is demanding for it. But trust me, Universal Music Group is not they are not the hand spinning for the universe.
Not Universal Music Group, Universe Music Group.
Oh, wow.
Swear. Glasses, you got a painting or some sort of an artistic piece as the result of this battle, correct?
I do. I have.
What does that depict? I forget.
Drake doing push-ups while Kendrick, as the master, is watching him.
Indeed. Okay.
Drop down, give me 50.
There you go. Yes, I agree with Crooked. The Universe Music Group is definitely demanding more of a righteous fold. And I mean, something I've talked to Cam over the years about, when it comes to health and being street as I am and the language that I use. Like, you could always be a street guy and be very much a righteous person. They're not mutually exclusive. They can go together. You just have to be willing to stand up and be who you are, even in the face of friends, right? You still gotta be stern. I just don't know if that's the business of Universal Music Group. I think Universal Music Group, do I think behind the scenes they have some backdoor deals that can encourage people to do the wrong thing? Sure. But I also think, people like to share in silly shit. I don't do drugs, but people like drugs. I don't know why. I will probably be the last person to tell you why somebody like drugs or alcohol. I could never understand it.
Why do you think Drake wanted to get involved in the battle rap scene? Do you think that he wants a army or a brotherhood. He wants for his manhood nature to be respected. You know what I'm saying? Because you can have all the females liking you all over the world, but
I really think with him, I'm gonna tell you something, Cam. Everybody like going to the zoo, right? Because everybody. What's the favorite thing people like? What's the biggest attraction at the zoo? The gorillas and the gorillas and the lions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they behind the cage, right? How many people you think would go to the zoo if them motherfuckers was running free when you go to the park? A lot,
Right.
gorillas just swinging tree to tree when you come in and just bombing on people. Lions, biting people's head off and shit. Wouldn't nobody want to see that live? I think Drake has been going to the zoo, man. Now he think he could walk among the beasts.
Shout out to ECDC Tech Academics talking about Glasses Malone to 20,000 viewers. Story of my life, brother. Story of my life. I always did something. So always somebody that's entirely too famous upset at me. So I'm used to it.
I mean,
hopefully it's not bad.
Yeah, like I said, the beautiful thing though is people that, like I said, the poverty, produces a army, a brotherhood. So there ain't no amount of money, ain't no amount of females and popularity or whatever that can equal a real army. You know what I'm saying? That's riding and sliding for love and respect. So I think that's what he deficient of. You know what I'm saying? All of us on this panel, you know what I'm saying, including Pete, got more respect, I think, you know what I'm saying, than dude do.
That's fair.
Where it counts.
And I think it's also, because of that deficiency, he's not going to go get it in the streets. This is the closest place he can go to get it.
Man.
That's true. Shout out to AJ, I think it's pronounced, or AJ, but I think it's AJ. The only thanks for the $5, Brody. The only reason I can foresee UMG pushing Dot over Drake at any moment is if they know some nefarious shit on his jacket that might hit the streets. That's a great point.
That's possible.
That is a great point.
I think
they for sure will unconnect from your ass if you got some shit.
Disconnect like a motherfucker.
And what was the theme of the song?
Right.
Oh, no.
Right.
No.
Right.
No. But I'll be honest. When I asked Dot, I ain't gonna lie, I did ask Dot. He said, Glasses, you ain't know me to be no liar. I said,
I'm saying all is fair. All is fair, right?
And I think there's, hip hop's a kind of genre where when it goes quick for a lot of artists. You can have a run for a long, long time, and when you're no longer the sound anymore, you have to wait until you're like now you're like old school hot because people remember you.
Shout out to Captain D Hard. Thanks for another $5, my boy. It's a new contract in the lawsuit. It says he owns his masters and copyright. Well, that could be another thing too. Cap. Like if you own your masters and your copyrights, they might invest in somebody else because there's more money to be made. I know that's true too. You know what I mean? That could be a good point.
Let me ask y'all something real quick. G, sorry to cut you off.
Go ahead.
How many artists do y'all know, man, that really were big deals that their finances don't reflect it right now? Guys like from the 90s that had really huge records and really big careers that was the Kendricks back in the day. How many of those guys do you see that their finances may not be all the way right? And not trying to, dish them dudes and nothing, but just trying to make a point.
Most of them, me included. You know what I'm saying? So, it's a business. It's a business, but it's also a boys club. People get to work that stay in the circle. It's a such thing as gatekeepers or whatever, a little boys club that they gonna keep you working if you get down like they get down. So I never got down like them, period. So, I was never invited to the reindeer games.
I say all that to say this, man.
It's big crap.
You can never get in a position, dude, to where you think you too big, man, because I don't seen some big dudes fall, man.
He definitely, no matter how it go, this was a mistake. There's no way he could come out on the other end and this not be a mistake, because now you're making enemies with really powerful people who happen to be a lot further vested in the business you want to succeed in than you do. Not to mention, again, it's like maybe, you know, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like I'm trying to think of what makes sense. Maybe he's gonna quit. Maybe he's like, you know what, I'm done with this. I'm gonna blow the lid off of it, and then I'm gonna ride off into the sunset. Maybe
It ain't gonna be that easy.
I think he just retired.
The sunset gonna be crazy.
You know, in Canada, you go far enough north, and the sun doesn't set for months during the summer.
Yeah.
You're stuck in the daytime.
Yeah, I don't quite know how this works out. Again, the culture they're done with him, right? Which he does have a fan base, to Crooks' point earlier, that, you know, he got from obviously years and years of great music and success, right? That he's going to have an audience. But Universal is tied to the people that own the arenas. Universal is tied to the people that actually stream the music. Universal is like, you get what I'm saying? You start to put yourself into a disadvantage because these people are connected to everybody. You know what I mean? And they will stop. So I don't quite know what the thought is. I just think it's a bad thought.
Hold on real quick. What was his last 3 records? Because didn't his last 3 records do like unbelievably bad? His last 3 singles he tried to drop.
I mean, Bad for Drake is probably not in the top 20. Shit, Drake.
No, I don't think these records even hit the top 100 from what I mean.
Well, I think he put out a lot more than
cool
3
to
records.
listen to Drake anymore.
Yeah, he's obviously been struggling. But I also don't think he went in there and started to try to make really great records that address where he's at and gave people what they wanted to hear.
I don't think it would matter.
I mean, it still, like how J. Cole was able to do with that song where he tried to rewrite history and act like, oh yeah, I didn't do the battle because I didn't want to argue with my friend.
J. Cole, you know,
J. Cole didn't get hit like this.
Maybe he was smart.
He was smart.
I don't think
J. Cole didn't get hit like this.
Yeah, I don't
just
think
the worst hits is Ja Rule. This Ja Rule 05.
You know,
this is way worse than Ja Rule still came out with a platinum album and a gold album and top 40 songs. Ja Rule still is street, so he understands what not to do.
Ja Rule was persona non grata for a decade.
Yeah, but this is worse.
I know.
And
that's why the company pivoted.
Like this could be, and remember, like to Ja and them's situation, remember they caught a Fed case, and that's when the label walked away from Suge, walked away from Jay, and walked away from Irv at that same time. They all had caught Fed. People didn't realize, but they all caught Fed cases at the same time.
So Drake
Most
trying to
didn't really trip off that.
So Drake trying to give Universal a Fed case, right?
Yeah, for his attorneys to mention Rico in the paperwork, like that is
it's not going to end good. It's not going to end good.
Well,
that's trying to get them investigated.
Drake could be going through some kind of crisis right now, man, where he's gonna seem too much. He's about to tell it all. You know, you got that one homie that you take on the mission. You see, that probably shouldn't be going.
He's gonna pull a Martin Lawrence
the next day. He might be about to drop the dime, bro.
Shout out to George Williams. He said, that's why we never get ahead. He's not scared to be the fall guy for the future guys. This has nothing to do with fall guy for future guys. All he's going to do is stop record companies from marketing record. He's not even going to stop anything. There's nothing he can fall guy for anybody else that's going to. And he's not himself being a fall guy. He's pointing at another guy. Be like, no, that guy, he's not saying, hey, you know what? This is what the record label. If he wanted to be the fall guy and he wanted to be a martyr, yeah, he could do it for himself. He could be like, this is how they marketed me. This is how they spent the money. I have the paperwork right here. Here's the proof. Look at this. This. But he's doing what Gunna did. He's like, no, look what they did for him. Look at that guy over there. They did this for him. You know, it's Rico, so forth and so on. You feel me? They did that for him. Now, if he wanted to be the fall guy, he would say, this is what they did for me. Hey, you know what? They falsely marketed my stuff. They made me bigger than I was. My numbers caught up and I was in arenas, so forth and so on. That's if he was trying to be a fall guy or a martyr or Jesus type of person in that regards. He would take the responsibility. He would not be pointing at who he could consider his Judas. As Jesus didn't be like, it was Judas.
he didn't even snitch.
Laid on the cross. It was like, whatever. Feel me? Drake is like,
Whatever.
nah. Drake is like Nino Brown in the courtroom on New Jack City.
Damn. Hey, Drake low key like Howard Hughes. You ever seen a Howard Hughes story? And the eccentric went crazy in a big ass mansion, started peeing in bottles and lining them up, growing his fingernails all long. Drake might need to get that little 5150 watch.
My boy was like Nino. He was like, it was Kendrick.
No, he's not a witness.
Hey, G,
He's a witness. That's a trial.
Taking everybody down.
Drake showed up to the police department with the rape kit.
Hey, G, I got to go pick up baby girl. I love y'all, man. I'm hollering at y'all in a minute.
My boy.
Yeah, he not a fall guy. He's I want to speak to the manager. That's what he's doing right now. You know what I'm saying? And you know, if he wanted to talk about how corrupt the industry is, he wouldn't have waited to turn the light on his supposed enemy. You know what I mean? This has nothing to do with anything righteous for the future of artistry. You feel me? Now, will it end up being something like that? I doubt it, but okay, that would just be a byproduct of him trying to get vengeance and stay on his mission. You know what I'm saying? It's not in his intentions to save the music. You feel me? That's if you're not gonna do that. So
he's the first lady to sue Bill Cosby.
Yeah, and UMG, like you said, man. You know, they when they start activating, boy, let me tell you, if people don't think they had nothing to do with that Rico from the colorful hair guy,
man,
you know what I'm saying? Man. They out their mind. So my whole thing is, like you said, they got a lot of power, and this ain't gonna unfold how him and his team thought.
Yeah.
But I don't know, bro. Like, he crashing out. You feel me? Like, he crashing out right now. That's all he doing.
If he was smart,
in here right now. There he is. Kung Fu Kenny, the educated brother from Compton. That's who the real leader of this ambitious Undertaker is doing.
If Dre was smart, he should have paid another artist to sue and paid for the legal fees.
Oh man, shout out to Flacco. He said, "Come on, big bro. Drake is doing this for the people like us who preach against corrupt infrastructure. We should be celebrating this. This is bigger than Kendrick and Drake." I would buy that. Flacco,
if it wasn't Drake,
he knows what they did for him and his business. He come out and break the industry in half. All you got to do is be like, this is what they did for me. They made this work. I know they spent this money. Here's the proof. He can talk about everything. But when he's pointing at Kendrick, that's why it's not about preaching against a corrupt infrastructure. Because
bro,
the benefactor.
Bro, he is suing them for a song called Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar. That's what the fuck this is about, bro. Like, let's not try to, you know what I mean? I'm the most positive thinking brother you could ever fucking meet. You know what I mean? But we not gonna go into the land of fairy tales. The motherfucker said, yo, Not Like Us is the craziest fucking atomic nuclear bomb that ever dropped on a rapper's head. And I don't like that shit. Everywhere I go, they planned it in the World Series.
This is true.
He's trying to. It has nothing to do with that other shit. Now, like I said, if that other shit becomes a byproduct, please believe it's not his intention. Because, simply put, like you said, G, he's pointing his finger, bro. Yeah. He's pointing his finger and he's saying, "Yo, this is what they did for him, and I'm going to expose it." If Not Like Us is a dud, we never had this conversation. And
Poetic Flacco, when you told me the Al would die, I didn't believe it. This is unbelievable. You were right. I don't know how you predicted it. Flacco, hip hop is street urban culture. The first time we talked on your platform on No Jumper, I explained it to you. It's artistically expressed street urban culture. It's a way you act, walk, talk. Everything about it is that. It doesn't lead with music first. The confusion is that it leads with music first. No, it leads with culture first. If it led with music, Chief Keef wouldn't have sold 3 records. No disrespect to Chief Keef, but he ain't quite Herbie Hancock. He's not quite Quincy Jones and Michael Jackson. You know, his music isn't quite, you know, Ray Charles. You know, he's not on a piano playing. You feel me? That type of stuff wouldn't work if it was music first. If that was the case, then Leon Haywood's song would be multi-platinum, and Dr. Dre's song would have only sold, you know, G-Thang would have only sold 5,000 if it was about music. Because the music in these other genres is superior. The music. Now, when you add in the fact that hip-hop is about culture, it's about discovery and people that don't have a voice, and a movement of people that refuse to be ignored and determined to let you know they exist and talk about their experience in this very small, minute population in America. It's very few ghettos that create this stuff that we talking about. You know what I'm saying? That's what hip-hop is about, and that's what we come for. See, I've never been confused and thought to myself, we come for music. Again, like right now, people ask me all the time, I don't listen to more new artists. I'm like, because I'm actually listening for music now. Now I'm not listening for culture. I'm like, well, what's actually sounds good? Well, I'm gonna go play Hall & Oates. I'm going to go play Prince. I'm going to go discover the third Marvin Gaye album because I'm going to listen to music. But when I listen to hip hop, I listen for culture. I listen for lingo. I listen for style, fashion, representation, and then music. So again, it's like when you was asking me how that battle will play out, it's a guy with culture that understands culture versus a guy with no street urban culture. Zero. He's been kind of in like impersonating it. It's like asking me, you know, in a soul food competition, who would win? Like Eminem's Prime Eminem or Kentucky Fried Chicken. There's nobody in the world that's going to taste both soul foods. You asking me who would win, King Tacos or Taco Bell? Anybody with taste buds is going to prefer King Taco.
Where's a certain type of taste buds? Because to me, it's like also like Godzilla and King Kong, right? The machine made them both global monsters. But when it comes to them battling each other, one of them got way more weapons than the other one. You know what I'm saying? On that scene.
To me, like it got, like when I first started seeing the comments and some of the posts about this on social media, the wagons circled so fast. They circled so fast, and I like this sounds stupid. It's kind of funny. You three guys haven't been on that side of the wagons like I've had the wagons circle on me.
Yeah,
you know, it happens fast, and you see it, boom, and it doesn't unhappen, and everybody in the room knew it, and it was cool for Drake until Drake just did that little thing to give him the excuse, and he did it, and he capitalized on it, and they just went, and he was over there.
Man,
it happened so fast.
I got a question. Where does Drake go from here?
He just messed it up.
He has to wait until he's nostalgic.
I think he would never do this. But if he apologized, you know what I'm saying? if he apologized to the culture and embraced, you know, reality instead of playing like he was God and trying to son everybody, and you know, because you on this, I'm rich and I'm balling and I'm playing these money games, and you know what I'm saying, you have to break it all the way down and get with some real people, do a whole lot of charity, you know what I'm saying, like you got to do a whole lot of Santa Claus.
You have to actually come clean and be for real. You have to be genuine. Shout out to Big China. A blogger said he bullies people legally and he really wants to sue Dot. I believe that too. Shout out to Tree. He said invite him to the podcast. Man, Drake wouldn't come to that podcast, man. It's funny because we wouldn't even be talking about this stuff, but he would be so mad and upset that he wouldn't really, you know, be okay with the conversation. Hold on, this is Head calling me. Let me see what he's talking about. Drizzy, what up? I can't call it. I got you on the live stream with me, Crooked, Cam, and Pete.
Oh shit! What's up?
No.
Just for the record, if you were low, I'm cousin.
Don't worry. Nobody, everybody knows that when you call me, it's required that you say cuz. That's how everybody greets me. All the white lawyers, managers, they got to say, what's up, cuz. When Pete called me, like, what's up, cuz?
So
Come on, no, I don't.
to understand the thought process behind the goings on of what the goings on is.
We can't figure it out. We've been trying to discover what's going on for the last hour and 35 minutes, and none of us is really close because the best thing I heard came from a comment where somebody said he owns his masters and copyright in his new contract. So maybe that's why they could favor Kendrick over him. But I still don't understand why that would bother him to the point to where he would sabotage his business future with UMG and affiliates.
I mean, maybe.
That's a close I get to. I still don't think so, because I would imagine the money with Drake and where they have positioned him to is incredible. So it doesn't make sense. So the most realistic, solution is he's having an emotional outbreak, and he has the kind of money that people are not saying, hey, this is not a wise idea.
I don't think there's anyone probably around that's going to culturally navigate him.
And that's, again, the same problem. Cam said, Cricket asked a question. He said, what would it take to get Drake back into a decent position? And Cam said he'll never do this, but to apologize to the culture and to everything else about what he's been doing, and decide to himself he's going to become more of a humanitarian and look out for the culture that he's benefited off of and work from there. But again, it would take a level of self-awareness, conscious, to where you can understand what's happening. And I definitely do not believe he has the self-aware to understand, possible consequences for misusing the culture this way to the benefit of just making money, and feeling like the equivalent is empowering a couple other rappers, which really still gives you the same credibility. You know what I mean? And I don't think Drake is one of these people who don't. I think he does donate to the schools and he tries his best, but this is something really deep. Like, this is a really, we're hard on each other here community-wise over this. We are hard over people who really been through this, let alone people who didn't go through this. So, I mean, it requires shout out to Eider78. The answer is it requires humility, and you can forget about that.
Yeah, I don't think there's a couple of individuals who haven't expressed a lot of humility over the last few years, and I think that has hindered them in progress within the ecosystem.
Sure. All right, I'm gonna hit you once we finish. So I don't know, man. Crook, I think we done spent a lot of time. Cam, I think we just spent a lot of time trying to figure out. I don't have the answer.
So the answer comes back to a Kendrick song, Be Humble.
Is that going to happen?
And that'll do it. Much love to y'all, man. See y'all Wednesday at noon, man. Thanks, Crooked. Thanks, Big Bro. Cam, man. Pete, we back here Wednesday. Love. Make sure y'all go subscribe to the No Ceilings podcast when you leave here. It's on Apple Podcasts, anywhere you get your podcast. The No Ceilings podcast is produced by Charlemagne the God, Black Effect Network, and iHeart. Get down where you mad at, Playboy. We out here.